Good evening everyone, I am Mr. Ish. Thank you for joining me. We're looking here in this video 4 in 1, meaning 4 integral property proofs in one video. Very common and very important integral properties that you need to know. The primary emphasis is to bring all of those 4 important integral properties into one video so it can be handy for anyone watching. We're starting here perhaps from the most easy to perhaps the most hard, and let's look at this one. You know, at any time you have an interval, let's say a to b f of x dx, you know, when you have a lower limit and upper limit, the lower limit is numerically smaller than the upper limit. It would be the same thing as you bringing in a minus outside your integral and then flipping those intervals around and having this representation. You can do that. It's a very important integral property where the negative sign outside your integral allows you to flip the limits. And when you do the proof for this, it shows that this side is equal to that side. The left hand will be equal to the right hand. When you do the antiderivative of this, you're looking at a capital F of x. That's how you represent a antiderivative of the f of x function. You're looking at everything here from b to a. The upper limit, lower limit, the difference of the two, you have f of b minus f of a. That's the end result of the left hand side of this expression. Now you focus in on this side, you're looking here with the minus, and then you into the antiderivative, you're looking at f of x, and then you have a and a b. When you do this, what do you have? You have a minus, you're looking here at f of a minus f of b. You still have that minus outside. I haven't opened it up. When I open it up, the minus distributes across. You end up seeing f of b minus f of a, which indeed is equal to that side. The right hand is equal to the left hand, and you have proven this to be the case, that an integral with certain limits is the same as another integral having the same limits, the same function, but the minus outside with the limits flipped. And this is a very common integral property to be aware of. This next property here of integrals has to do with the ability of you to separate an interval into two separate or multiple separate intervals by means of a value which falls right into that interval. When you're looking at a function which is going from a to c, you know there's a certain value which falls in between, so you can add these intervals. A to c is the same thing as a to b plus b to c. It's the additive property of integrals by means of their limits, by means of their intervals, all of that. It didn't make sense. When you integrate this and you want to prove this to be true, it's not hard. You will have this coming out as the antiderivative. You're looking here from c to a. When you do the definite integration here, you'll have f of c minus f of a. So that part has been done. This part right here, the left hand side, gives you that expression over there. When you look at this individually, you have to do the antiderivatives. You're looking here at f of x in terms of the antiderivative, b to a, plus you're looking here at the antiderivative, then from c to b. When you do this, you're looking at f of b minus f of a, plus f of c minus f of b. You know it's always the upper limit minus the lower limit. You'll see that these will cancel out. What you'll end up seeing here is this f of c minus f of a will be the outcome, and it will very well mirror exactly what you have over here, both of these sides being equal. The c here was looking a little bit like an a, but that right there is good. It's proven. Anytime you have a interval, you can bring a value in between and separate your integral into multiple parts, not just two but multiple separate parts. Each of those individual parts are in an additive relationship to the whole. The third important property applies to even functions. You know, even functions are symmetric about the y-axis, and it applies those instances where you have a symmetric interval. You're looking here something from minus a to a, where numerically these items are the same. You don't want to be looking at something which is asymmetric, like something like minus 3a, and here you're looking at 2a. It's not symmetric intervals. The even function property of integrals requires you to have symmetric intervals. Numerically, they must be symmetric. This right here, minus a to a, for that integral is the same thing as 2 multiplied by the integral from 0 to a. How can you show this to be the case? You know, for even functions, the test is f of x is always equal to f of minus x. You can do that. The best way to prove this property is by means of you focusing first on this right hand side. The antiderivative of f of x is this capital F of x. You know, you're looking at from a and 0. When you do the definite integration, you're having 2 f of a minus 2 f of 0. F of 0 is not necessarily a 0 because a secant function or cosine function are even properties. When you do 0 in terms of secant and cosine, you have a value of 1. It does not zero out. But this is the outcome from the right hand side. Now you focus only on the left hand side and you make sure that this equals that, and it will. How can you go about doing it? Use the interval or the additive property of integrals to separate this out into two separate integrals. From minus a to 0, you'll have f of x dx plus, then from 0 to a, f of x dx. What have I done? I've brought an intermediate value in between the upper and the lower limits. Between minus a and a, there's a value that's 0. I've brought it in and I've separated it. These separate integrals are in an additive relationship to each other. Now, consider this part right over here. You can bring the minus a up. You can if you want to, and you can do that by means of the negative sign. The negative sign allows you to flip the interval limits. And that's exactly what you have. F of x dx plus 0a f of x dx. Look here at the test of even functions. F of x is equal to f of minus x. I have a f of x here, and I can bring this function f of x should be equal to the same thing in terms of minus x. See, f of minus x dx. This should be equal to that. If it's an even function, you bring in the even function test rule and you bring it in. Plus 0a f of x dx. Run this through your polynomial substitution technique. If u is equal to minus x, du is equal to minus dx, dx is equal to minus du, u1 and u2, new limits, u1 will be everything here with regards to this. 0 times the minus 1 is just a 0. Minus a coming here is a positive a. You bring in these substitutions right here into this specific part. I'm going to work on this entire part right over here. When I'm bringing in the substitutions, I have a minus here and I have a minus here. They'll negate each other and you'll have a positive. You'll end up seeing a positive, you'll have a 0, you'll have your upper limit a, and then you'll have f of u du plus this right here. From 0a f of x dx. When you do the antiderivative here, you're having a capital F of u, and then you know you're having an a and a 0. Here you're having a capital F of x, and you know you're having a and a 0. Do the definite integration. You'll have f of a minus f of 0 plus f of a minus f of a 0. When you combine the like terms, you're having 2f of a minus 2f of 0. That's what you're having, and you'll see that this part right here is equal to that part. The left hand side is equal to right hand side, and this even function property of integrals is proven. Remember, you're having two of these f of a's combined, and you're having two of these negative f of zeros combined, and you're getting 2f of a minus 2f of 0, and it's done. Not a difficult one to show, but perhaps a little more involved. Now for the last one, we're looking here at the odd function property. Again, from minus a to a, f of x dx is equal to 0. You know odd function f of minus x is equal to minus f of x. That's what you have. There are multiple ways of showing you this. I'll just show you one way. You know, for an odd function, like if you have a function which is like this from minus a to a, you'll have a positive area, minus area. If you add them up, they'll equal to 0. That's what we're talking about here with regards to an integral property. So what's one way of showing you how you can do this? Well, you know, for an odd function, you have f of minus x is equal to minus f of x. If you're looking at everything over here, you can separate everything here, minus a to 0, f of x dx, and then you can go from 0 to a, f of x dx. From over here now, the next step it would be to bring in a substitution. U is equal to minus x, because we're going to try to convert this into something we can do with regards to utilizing that odd function property. U is equal to minus x. Du is equal to minus dx, dx is equal to minus du. Your interval limits will change, u1 and u2. Everything with regards to this right here, u1 will be minus a, which will be a. u2 will be minus 0, which is just a 0. If u is equal to minus x, you know x is also equal to minus u. You can utilize that. You're having here u1 is a, u2 is 0. You have this minus coming here at the very beginning. You have f of minus u du, and then you have 0a f of x dx. This is what I have so far. I can hit all of this with a negative and flip the interval limits around, because it wouldn't be a bad idea. When I hit everything here with a negative, this thing becomes a positive, but it allows me to flip these limits. So I have a larger number on the top, the smaller number on the bottom. I have f of minus u du plus 0a f of x dx. What I have over here is something which looks like this, f of minus x, but this should be equal to the same thing as minus f of x. You can bring a minus right outside and you can do 0a f of u du plus 0a f of x dx. Why is this minus u becoming a u? Simply because of this property, f of minus x is equal to minus f of x. The minus from inside has been pushed outside. As you can see, the minus from out here has been pushed out here, and hence you're seeing that come into play. Now you have nothing more other than to integrate these individually and they'll zero out. You'll have minus sitting out here, you'll have the antiderivative f of u, and then you're looking here from a and a 0 plus you'll have this antiderivative f of x, and then you're looking here from a and a 0. All you have to do is f of a minus f of a 0, that's still with a minus sitting outside, this minus, plus f of a minus f of a 0. Open this up, you'll have minus f of a plus f of 0, and then you'll have plus f of a minus f of 0, and everything will cancel out. Minus f of a will cancel out with that, positive f of 0 with that, and it'll zero out. And this integral property, which perhaps is the hardest to prove, has been done. It's hardest to prove simply because you have to do a little bit of out of the box thinking by bringing in this substitution. This substitution, you would not normally think you should bring it in, but you do bring it in because it allows you to start bringing in this odd function aspect or characteristic into the picture from this step onwards. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.